Good morning, Year 8. So, we started a statistics topic last week and we looked at some of the words involved and the meanings, and we also looked at finding the mean, the median, the mode and the range. We're going to continue with that this week, but looking at the data presented in a different format. So, as a revision from last week, could you have a go at finding the mean, the median, the mode and the range for this set of data here? So press pause, okay, have a go and then press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, so we are going to start finding the mean. Okay, so if you remember, the mean is when you add all the data and divide, okay? So if we add all that data up, we get 48. And there are 10 bits of data there, so we're going to divide by 10, so that gives us a mean of 4.8. Okay, then to find the mode and the median, the best thing to do is to put this data in order. So I've done that here, so we've got 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so remember the mode is the number that occurs the most, and I've got 3 2's there, so the mode is going to be 2. And then the median is the number in the middle. Now we have 10 numbers, so there's not going to be one number in the middle. Okay, if I count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to be these two numbers here, because I've got 4 either side. So when I've got two numbers, I actually look halfway between, so the median would be 4.5. Okay, and the last thing we need to find out is the range, and again with it in order, that makes it nice and easy because it's the highest number, take away the lowest number, so 9 take away 2 is 7. So hopefully you've got those correct. Okay, and that's helped you with the mean, median, mode. Okay, so our objective today is to calculate the mean, median, mode and range for discrete data in a frequency table. So just a really quick question, and this again links back to last week, it's a bit of a revision from last week. What are the key words in this objective? So have a think. Okay, so let's have a think. I'll get my highlighter out. So obviously keywords are mean, median and mode, because there are 3 averages. Okay, so they just help us understand what the data looks like, okay, by giving us one value. And the range is also a keyword because that's just telling us how spread out the data is. Okay, so we've then got these 2 words here, discrete and data. Okay, so if you remember, discrete means it takes particular values, so it's counting numbers often, it's the number of something, but again there are some special cases like shoe sizes or cost of a computer was discrete data as well. But it's data that can only take certain values. If you remember, data is just information. And then we've got the word frequency table. So that is also a keyword, but we've not seen it yet. So we're going to look at those to start with. But a frequency means how often something happens. Okay, so it might say I've got, or I've seen 10 red cars. Well, the frequency of red cars would be 10. Okay, so they're all our keywords, lots and lots of keywords there. Let's have a look at an example. So we're going to start, scroll down. This worksheet, by the way, is available on Show My Homework to print off if you'd like to. If not, you can just copy the tables into your books, up to you. So to start with, we have got a set of data here. Okay, so it says a teacher asked her class how many pens they had in their pencil case that day. And here is a list of their responses. So, lots and lots of data there. So when we've got lots of data like this, it can get quite confusing and difficult to understand. So it's good to store that data in a table and get it ordered so it's easy to read and use. So to start with, what I want you to do is to put this data in a tally table. So just to remind you, tally, okay, is when you've got sticks. Okay, so you put 4 sticks and then your 5th stick you would put across like that, so you know you've got a 5. So the best way to do this, probably working across, so I'd start with 2 and I'd put a line there. Then I've got another 2, so I put a line there, and I'm going to cross those off because I've used them. And then I've got 3 and 1, so I'm going to put 1 there and 1 there, so I'm going to cross those off. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going, 3, and then we've got 2 and 3, so we've got 2 and 3 and so on. So I've done the first line, then I go back and do the second line and cross it off and so on. And then frequency is just about writing the number for this tally. So if we had 5 in here, you'd write 5 there. So you're just reading the tally and writing the numbers in here. So press pause. If you've got the worksheet, you write on the worksheet. If not, copy out the table and have a go at that table. Okay, so hopefully you've pressed play and you've got some answers filled in here. So I've got the answers below, but we'll write in. So you should have had a tally here as 8, so the frequency is 8. This one is 10, and then we've got 6 3s, 3 4s, and 1 5. Okay, so some questions to think about. Why would we use a table rather than a list of data? Instead of adding up the list, can you find out the total number of pens in the class from the table, and how would you do this? And how could we use this to calculate the mean? So have a go answering those questions in your book. Okay, so why would we use a table rather than a list of data? Because it keeps the data organised. Okay, it's ordered it for us because we know we've got all the 1s, then all the 2s, 3s, 4s and 5s, whereas here we haven't got that. And also it just is easy to see what's going on. So it's organised the data. Instead of adding up the list of numbers, can you find the total number of pens in the class from the table? So, okay, we could find the total number of pens just by adding all these numbers up, but that will take us a long time. But once we're in the table, I know I had 8 people only had 1 pen. So how many pens is that in total? Well, that's 8 pens. I know that 10 people had 2 pens. Okay, so that's 20 pens in total. I know 6 people had 3 pens, so that's 18. 3 people had 4 pens, so that's 12. And 1 person had 5 pens, so that's 5. So when I've got all of those numbers, I can add them up and get the total. Okay, if you want to check, you could do it that way and do these as well and see if you get the same total. How could we use this to calculate the mean? Well, if you remember the mean, we add then divide. So we would have to add up, okay, our total number of pens and then divide by how many people were in the class. Okay. So let's look at the table at the bottom. Okay, so here's our number of pens. Here's our frequency, which I've got from here. So I'm going to add up the number of pens. So I know 8 people had 1 pen, so that's 8 pens in total. I know 10 people had 2 pens, so that's 20 pens in total. 6 people had 3 pens, so that's 18. 3 people had 4 pens, so that's 12, and 1 person had 5 pens, so that's 5. And then I need to add these up. So I've got 8 and 20 is 28. Okay, and we have 46, 58, and that makes 63. Okay, so there are 63 pens in total. Okay, so the next question is, how many pupils were there, okay, that had these pens? So again, if we go back to the list, I could count how many numbers I've listed here, okay, but I can get that information from the table because I know there were 8 people with 1 pen, 10 people with 2 pens, 6 people with 3 pens, 3 people with 4 pens, one person with 5 pens. So this is how many people there were altogether. So I've got 8 and 10 is 18, add the 6 is 24, add the 3 is 27, so we've got 28. Okay, so we've got 18, 24, 27, 28. Okay, so now I've got everything filled in the data, in the table. Okay, so we're going to work out the mean, the mode, the median and the range from this table. So the mean, we said we need to add up how many pens there were. Well, we've done that here, there were 63 pens. Okay, and we divide by how many people had pens, which was 28. Okay, and that comes out as 2.25. So the mean number of pens is 2.25 per person. So although that's not a sensible answer, because you can't have 2.25 pens each, okay, it is acceptable to leave that as your answer. But if you wanted to, you could say, well, that's 2 to one significant figure. We could round it, okay? All right. But either way, your answer there should be between 1 and 5. It should never be bigger than 5. It should never be smaller than 1. Okay, your answer has to be able to fit into this table. Right, so then we've got to work out the mode. So if I was trying to work out the mode from this list up here, I'm looking for the number that occurs the most. Well, in the table, how do I know which number occurs the most? Well, obviously it's the one with the highest tally or the highest frequency. So if we come back down here, we're looking at the frequency. The highest frequency here is 10. Okay, now 10 is not the mode. Okay, there were 10 people who had 2 pens. So it is 2 that is the mode because 10 people had 2 pens. So let's just highlight that there. Okay, so if I was trying to find the median, I would put this data in order and look for the 2 in the middle. So again, in the table, this data is already in order. I've got all the 1s first, then the 2s, then the 3s, then the 4s, then the 5s. So I've got my data in order, but I've got to understand that I would have 8 1s in order, then I'd have 10 2s in order, and then I'd have 6 3s in order. Okay? Now, with 28 bits of data, I'm looking for the 14th and the 15th number. Okay? So, if I was to write this all out, I'd start and I'd write 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 8 times. Well, I haven't got to the 14th number. Then I would write 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 10 times. Well, if I've written 8 1s and 10 2s, I've got to the 18th number, and I wanted the 14th and 15th number. So let's just write that out. I've got, oops, choose a pen. I've got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all the 1s. And then I've got 10 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, because I had 28 bits of data, I know I'm looking for the 14th and the 15th. There'll be 2 in the middle. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 are here, and they're both 2. So therefore, the median is going to be 2. So you don't need to write that out in a list if you think you can work it out from here, but you might find it makes life a little bit easier if you can write your list out from here. 8 1s, then 10 2s. Lastly, the range. Okay, so range is the highest number, take away the smallest number. So we need to think, what was the highest number of pens anybody had? Well, this is the number of pens here. So the highest number of pens was 5, and the smallest number of pens was 1. So the range is 5, take away 1, which is 4. Okay, so get your table filled in either on your worksheet or or copy this into your book. Okay, we've done mean, mode, median, and range from a table. let's have a look at another example, okay, because this is quite tricky. So this time we've got Smarties again from 100 tubes. Okay, so we've got the Smarties from 100 tubes were counted and the results were recorded in a frequency table. So, first question I've got here is, how many tubes were there? There were this many tubes. Okay, so one of the clues is in the question. How else could I find the total number of tubes? Well, remember, frequency is your number of tubes, and I've written it there as well. So actually I need to add this together, and it should come to 100. So there are 100 tubes. If we write that down as our first question. So what I would do if I were you is copy that table into your book, leave an extra column, and then write these sentences underneath. 2A, the highest number of Smarties in a tube. So this column gives me number of Smarties. The highest number of Smarties was this number here, 29. And the lowest number of Smarties was this number here, 24. So the range of Smarties is 29, take away 24, and we get 5. The difference is just 5 between the highest number and the lowest number. Okay. The mode of Smarties in a tube. Okay, so if you remember, the mode is the one that occurs the most. This is telling me here how many tubes there were with 24 Smarties, how many tubes there were with 25 Smarties, okay, and how many tubes there were with 26 Smarties, and so on. So which of these has got the highest frequency? Well, the highest frequency is this number here. This is the highest number here. Okay, and it says there were 27 tubes with 26 Smarties in, so this is our mode, okay, 26 Smarties. There were 27 tubes that had 26 Smarties in. So, out of 100 tubes, the 2 in the middle would be, so 100 tubes, half of 100 is 50, so I'm looking for the 50th, but remember, because it's an even number, there'll be 2, so it'll be 50 and 51 are the 2 in the middle. So I've got to work out where 50 and 51 are. So again, I need to think, actually there were 9 tubes with 24 Smarties in, so I'll have 9 24s. So I'm just going to write that there. There were 16 Smarties with 16 tubes with 25 Smarties in. So altogether I've got 9 and 16, that adds up to 25. So I've got 9 24s and 16 25s. I've still not got to 50. Then I'm going to add 27 because I've got 27 and 26s coming up. So 27 and 25 is 52. Now I've gone past 50 and 51. So 50 and 51 must have been the number 26. So the median number is 26. So again, think about it. I've got 24 9 times. Then I've got 25 16 times, and then I've got 26 27 times, and I've gone up to 52, which means I've passed 50 and 51. That's the hardest one, actually. The median is always the hardest one. Right, so then we're going to get to the mean, and I need to work out the total number of Smarties. So, first of all, I know I've got 9 tubes with 24 Smarties in. So if I tipped all those tubes out, how many Smarties would I have altogether? Well, I'd have 9 lots of 24, which is 216. So let's just write that to the side. That's 9 lots of 24. If I tip all the next tubes out, I've got 16 tubes with 25 in. If I tip those out, I would have a total of 400 Smarties, because that's 16 times 25. Okay, and so on. So then I would have 27 times 26, which is 702, 20 times 27, okay, and so on. So all the way down here to 10 times 29, and then to find the overall total, I need to add all those up and put the answer there. To find the mean, I'm going to do the total number of Smarties divided by the total number of tubes. So if we do 2,652 divided by 100, so let's write that number in there, 2652. Okay, the total number of Smarties is going to be 26.52. So again, we can't have 26.52 Smarties per tube. Okay, but that's telling you it's over 26 Smarties per tube. Okay, but again, if you wanted to round it, you could round it to 26. Okay, so we've looked at how do we find the range, biggest, takeaway, smallest, but it's always numbers from this column. In fact, all your answers should be a number from this column. Okay, so here we did 29, takeaway 24. Okay, the mode is 26 because it was the highest frequency. The median was 26 because when we put them in list, 26 was the 51st number and the 52nd number. And then we've added up and divided, and we've got 26.52, which again will fit into this column. Okay, right, so there are some questions for you to have a go. So what I would suggest is there are 6 questions. Okay, again, I will make sure this worksheet is on Show My Homework, okay, or you can copy it out. So start by filling in this last column. I would actually add a bit on the end with totals here, okay, because you need your total frequency here and you need your total homework times frequency here. Okay, so make sure you've got those totals there. Mean, remember, add them up, divide by how many there are. Mode, the one with the highest frequency. Median, the one in the middle, so you have to think carefully. And range, it's the highest, take away the lowest. So the highest number of homeworks, take away the lowest number of homeworks. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll press pause and have a go at that worksheet. Okay, there's 6 questions in total. Okay, if you do the first 3, we'll do the answers and then you can have a go at the second 3. Okay, so hopefully you've completed the first 3 questions. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers. So just check that you've got these numbers across here filled in correctly. Okay, and this total here should be 87. Okay, and this total here should be 12. Okay. So the mean, if you remember, is this total here, the number of homeworks, divided by the number of students, which was 12. So 87 divided by 12 gives you 7.25 homeworks per student. So remember, the mode is the one with the highest frequency. So if we look at the frequencies, 4 is the highest frequency. So what number of homeworks was that? That was 7 homeworks, so the mode is 7. The median, okay, well again, let's just write a list out. I've got 1 5, I've got 2 6s, okay, and I've got 4 7s, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in total there were 12 students, so I'm looking for the 6th and 7th student. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 6th and 7th numbers are both 7, so the median is 7. And then the range is the highest number of homeworks, take away the lowest number of homeworks, which is 4. Let's have a look at question 2. So again, you've got, check that this row is filled in correctly and it should total 198. And check that the total for this row here should be 17. So then to find the mean, you're going to do this total divided by this total, which comes out as 11.64. The mode is the one with the highest frequency. So if we look at the frequencies, that's the highest frequency is 7, and that is for 12 as a test score. Okay, the median, so I've got 17 bits of data, which means the one in the middle is going to be the 9th bit of data. So it's going to, I'm going to have 8, then I'm going to have the 9th bit of data, and then I'll have 8 more. Okay, so I'm looking for the 9th piece of data. I would have 3 10s, and then I'd have 4 11ths, so that's 7 bits of data. So I'd have 1, 2, 3 10s, and then I'd have 4 11s. So that's 7 numbers so far, and I'm looking for the 9th. So then I've got 7 12s. So 1, 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9th piece of data is 12, so the median's 12. And the range is the highest, take away the lowest, so 14, take away 10. Last question, we've got number of pets per household. So again, make sure this is filled in correctly here. Your total, okay, should be, okay, so this is 101 and this is 23 here. Now this question says, Sally thinks that the mean number of pets for the people surveyed is 9. Why must Sally be wrong? Okay. Well, remember that our answer here needs to be between 2 and 6. We can't have more than 9 pets per household because nobody had 9. We can't have more than 6, sorry, because nobody had more than 6 pets. So we can't have a mean of 9. Okay. So the correct mean would be 101 divided by 23. Okay, and that's going to come out as 4.391. And the range of pets, again, the highest number of pets was 6, the lowest number of pets was 2, so that's a range of 4. Okay, so this is worksheet 2B that's in your on Show My Homework. So either open it up or print it off. Okay, so on these questions you don't have that extra row that you need to work out the total. Okay, so it says here we've got a table showing the number of bedrooms in 50 houses. We need a row that tells us the total number of bedrooms. So we need, I often call this my FX column because you're doing your frequency times whatever your numbers are here, which we call X. So you're going to need to do the 1 times the 5, the 2 times the 19, and so on. Okay, so you're going to need to do that for each of these questions because they've all got that missing row at the bottom, or on the last one it will be a column on the end. So make sure that you get that filled in before you try and answer the questions. So press pause, okay, have a go at those questions and then press play when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so on this one, so we've already said we need to get these numbers in here. So we should have 5 and 18, 66 and 40. And 20. Okay, so the total is 126, 131, 139, 149. Okay, and that was for 50 houses. So the mean is going to be 149 divided by 50. Okay, which comes out as 2.98. The mode is the one with the highest frequency, so we'll look for the highest frequency, which is 22, and that's for 3 bedrooms. The median, well, for 50 houses, we're looking for the 25th and the 26th house. So the first 5 were 1s, then I had 9 2s, so that's 14 numbers altogether, and then I had 22 3s, so 14 add 22 is 36, so I've gone past 25. So the mode must be 3, median, sorry, must be 3, and then the range of numbers of bedrooms is the highest number, take away the lowest number, which is 4. Okay, similarly here, you should have 23 here, 34, 72, 88, 95, and 90. Okay, so our total here is 402, the total frequency is 120, so the mean is 402 divided by 120. 120, which comes out as 3.35. The mode is the highest frequency, so if we look, we've got 23, 17, 24 is the highest frequency, so that's 3. The median, this is going to be hard again because I'm looking for the 60th and the 61st piece of data, so that's half of this, okay? So I had 23 ones, and if I add to that the 17, that takes me up to 40 altogether. And if I add in 24, that takes me up to 64. So I've gone past 60 and 61. So 60 and 61 must have been 3. And then the range is 6, take away 1. Last one, we've got the gardener, planting seeds in trays of 10. Okay, and these are the number of seeds that don't grow. Okay, so we'll just fill in that last column. Okay, so the total number of seeds is 50, total number that don't grow, and the total number of strips was 50. So it says the mean number of seeds that did not grow last year was 2 per strip. Have his seeds grown better this year? You must show your working and give reasons for your answer. So the mean is 50 divided by 50, which gives 1. So last year it was 2 that didn't grow, this year it's only 1 per strip. Therefore, less have not grown, so that means more have grown, so they're doing better. Okay, so hope you've understood that. Don't worry too much if you're really struggling with the median. That certainly is the hardest one to get to grips with. If that is something that we're struggling with, then yeah, we'll maybe do another video just on the median. Okay, let me know how you get on. Okay, and I will speak to you tomorrow.